I think this is a game that's going to be won or lost in midfield, and I think that is where our strength is against Manchester United. Hello, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're looking ahead at Newcastle's next two matches, which are 2 games in 3 days, both at home, both at St James's Park, and Newcastle obviously have the opportunity to try and take 6 points to really stake a claim for one of those 5 Champions League spots that's available. And, 6 points would be amazing. 4 points would be pretty good. But really, anything less than that, I think we can be looking at and feeling maybe a little bit disappointed, because that would mean that our game in hand has kind of ebbed away if we only get 3 points or less. Really, 4 is a minimum out of these 2 games, but if we can win both, we really do set ourselves up perfectly. Now, the 2 games are against 2 mid-table teams. We've got Manchester United and then Crystal Palace. On paper, the Palace game certainly looks a bit trickier, in my opinion, at the moment than the Manchester United one, because Palace are bang in form. So that is not going to be an easy game on Wednesday night at St James's Park. The Manchester United game won't be easy either. We should say that. I know they're not having a great season. They've only won 4 games away from home all season. The chances are that they're going to come and put in a good effort, a good performance. But we can't take for granted that we're going to just turn them over. Like, we have to earn it. So it's a big games. Both games are absolutely massive. And, of course, Palace will be pushing to try and finish the season strongly as well. So 2 games, 3 days, an absolute massive opportunity for this football club. If we were to win both of those games, we know that at the very worst, we will be 4 points clear of 6th place, which means that we'll have a 4-point cushion within the top 5, which is absolutely crucial. We know that the 5th place is now guaranteed a Champions League spot thanks to Arsenal's victory over Real Madrid in the Champions League this week. The stakes are huge. We know that. We have come back from the cup final. We've managed to win the last 2 games. Maybe not the best performances. That doesn't matter at this point. I wouldn't say either performance was bad. I think the Brentford one was perfectly okay, considering it was the first game after the cup final. We found a way to win. The Leicester game was just... I don't think we can take anything from that Leicester game other than the 3 points. Like, we can't read too much into that just because of the way the game went. It was basically won after 2 minutes. So, we move on. We did what we needed to do. We got the result we needed, and we move on. So let's look at Manchester United then at the weekend. Like I say, on paper, perhaps looks a little bit easier than the Palace game does right now. They have just played on Thursday night in Europe. So they played They had a 2-2 draw with Lyon in the Europa League. They will be feeling a bit disappointed and hopefully a bit deflated, because they were 2-1 up going into injury time, and then they conceded a very, very late goal for Lyon to pull it back 2-2. So not only did they have that game on Thursday night while we're resting, they then have the second leg just a few days after they play us, and that is their only opportunity to get back into Europe this season. So really, their focus may be more on the Europa League at this point than the Premier League, because they're not going to finish in the European spots in the league. But a 2-2 draw in the first leg is a brilliant result for us, because it means the tie is absolutely wide open. It means that they have everything to play for going back into the home leg at Old Trafford. And so, yeah, like I said, that might aid us a little bit as well. Of course, they're on a short week, and let's be honest, this is not a great Manchester United team. We've already beaten them this season at Old Trafford. So the opportunity is there for us to get the league double over Manchester United for the first time in goodness knows how long. I couldn't even tell you when the last time we did the league double over Manchester United was. And really, I think this is a game that's going to be won or lost in midfield, and I think that is where our strength is against Manchester United. We've got to understand that Bruno Fernandes is their main guy, right? He has got 8 goals, 9 assists, right? He's their top scorer, most assists. He is their danger man. He's a good player. Say what you like about him. He is a very, very good player. So I think if we can kind of mark him out of the game or take him out of the game, Manchester United don't have an awful lot to offer. So I think that'll be kind of like the main tactic, will be to kind of remove him from the game. If we can do that, then that nullifies Manchester United's threat. Manchester United are actually 15th in terms of goals scored anyway in the league, so it's not like they're scoring loads. I mean, like I said, Fernandes has only scored 8 goals as their top scorer in the league, so that's pretty shocking, really. So they're not a team who are going to come to St James's Park and score lots of goals. So again, if we can score 2 goals or 3 goals, we're probably going to win this football match, more likely than not. So very, very, like I said, keep saying there's an opportunity there for us. It's worth noting they are unbeaten in their last 3 league games, though one of those was Leicester, who we played the other night, and we know is not a happy club at the moment. So, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's what it was. But when I was researching this video, I realised that they haven't actually beaten a team outside of the bottom three since January in the league. They beat Fulham in January, and that was the last time they won a league game that wasn't against someone in the bottom three. So they've beaten Leicester, obviously, but I think they've also beaten Ipswich, I think it was. So they're the only two teams that they've won against in the league since then. So they have, however, had a few decent draws throughout the season. So that's really the danger for us, is if we're not going to win this game, obviously we don't want to lose it, but Manchester United have got some good draws this season against the likes of Arsenal, against Manchester City in their most recent games. So, we've got to be wary of that. We've got to basically take our chances when they come. We have to make sure we're taking our chances. We need to score early, in my opinion, put the pressure on them. But, Manchester United, again, are a team who actually might suit us in terms of playing against them, because they're not going to be a team who sit behind the ball and say, right, you break us down. They're a bit more expansive than that, and that should help us. We tend to play a bit better against them. Plus, we also tend to play better in the bigger games. Now, obviously, Manchester United are 13th, but I think the rivalry and kind of the feeling around Manchester United being who they are will hopefully lend itself to the crowd being up for it and the atmosphere going and that sort of thing. So we will see what happens. Big questions for Newcastle going into the game. Really, it's whether Anthony Gordon will be in the squad. So he's not going to start. Jason Tindall, who sat in for Eddie Howe, who's been poorly in the press conference, basically said he has started training on grass. He started doing a normal training session, but they're going to make a late decision as to see whether he can be on the bench on Sunday. So expect Harvey Barnes to keep his place. I'd imagine another unchanged side, if I'm honest with you. I can't see anything changing too massively. And let's be honest, things have been going pretty well since Gordon has been out, which has been really delightful. I mean, because we were all a bit worried about that. But yeah, Barnes is doing a decent job. And obviously Livramento at left-back as well has absolutely just been outstanding. So very comfortable with that left-hand side. And I think we can cause, Manchester United problems down that side as well. And that's kind of it, really. I think we kind of are where we are. We've got this run of games coming. We've got these 2 home games against Manchester United, then Palace, then we go away to Villa. So 3 huge games in a very short space of time. But that's sometimes not a bad thing, playing games back to back to back, especially if you win them. So we've got to get a good result against Manchester United. I would love to think we could win both of these home games, because then that would take the pressure off the Villa game in a little bit. There's a potential here that if we don't beat Manchester United and Palace, we then go into the Villa game needing a result, and that puts pressure on. So we kind of need to take advantage of these 2 home games. Since the cup final, we had 10 matches. We've got 2 are down. We've got maximum points from them. We need to make sure it's 4 down with maximum points. That's going to put us in an excellent position. But we will see how we get on. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to be there. And hopefully St James's Park will be rocking and we can get a really good result against Manchester United.